Once again, it's time to get back to work for our football team. I know we have a lot of work to do, and we need to work hard this week at improving and getting better as a team, getting better as an individual, as a unit, and as a football team, and that's going to be priority number one. We face a very, very good football team in Penn State. As I watched tape on the last day and a half, they're very good. And big, physical on defense, they fly around, they make plays, and their offense is productive. So this will be a tough contest, but it'll be good for our players to go experience an environment that we're going to go into against a very good football team. When it comes to where we're at from a health standpoint, Elijah Sindelar will be out. He's having surgery this morning as we speak on a broken clavicle. DJ Washington will be out. He's having surgery tomorrow on a broken fibula/ankle. Rondell Moore will be out this game. Lorenzo Neal will be out this game. Cargo Fuller will be out this game. Richie Wirtz will be out this game. And Jared Sparks will probably be out this game.
Tom?
Can you give us any timetable at all on Moore?
I'll know more information by the end of the day, hopefully.
You mentioned after the game, one of your tight ends was throwing up. I'm guessing it's Bryson Hopkins. I know that happened in Nevada. Can you sort of talk about maybe issues he's having? The tight ends didn't make one catch, sadly, and they only targeted 3 times.
Well, that's according to your stats, how many times have been targeted. There's a lot of plays called to him. Bryson, I think, got hit in the stomach early on. I was throwing up throughout the game, and we had to be careful how much we used him and when he was available. And when he was not in there, Payne Durham was in there.
Talk about the decision to change personnel at cornerback this week. Corey Trice and Jordan Rucker now the starters.
Well, I think right now there's not a starter for sure at those positions. We're going to have open competition in some of the positions, especially on defense. I think it's important that we open things up and we allow guys to have an opportunity to play, compete, and see where they're at. There are some young guys that need to play more. We need to see exactly what they can do for us. At the same time, the guys that have started and played, they just need to continue to get better. But all of us need to get better at what we're doing, and we want to make sure everyone knows there's open competition across the board on offense and defense.
What do you like about Kai Higgins at defensive tackle where he's now starting?
Well, we haven't got the production we wanted from the inside, interior of the D-line at this point. Kai Higgins is someone that I think plays extremely hard. He has experience for us. He cares. He's a very good leader, and we want to find ways to get him on the field.
Back to Elijah for a side. Will he be out for the year?
It's too early to tell. We'll see how this goes and go from there. But he will be out an extended period of time.
And with Rondell, is it is that a potential season-ending thing, or is that just an extended period of time?
Well, we're hopeful it's not, but I'll know more by the end of the day where we stand with that.
And back to the cornerbacks, what do you want out of that group now? That you're going to create some competition there, but what do you want to see in practice, and then obviously carry over to the game on Saturday?
Well, we have to get better. It's not all in the corners as far as some of our mistakes. We've got to coach better. We've got to get our guys in the best position to succeed and win. We've got to work extremely hard in practice. As you guys saw, I want to challenge routes. I mean, way too many open guys down the field, way too many guys not being disrupted at the line of scrimmage, way too many huge holes in the secondary. Sometimes it's not all them. And those things need to start to decrease. And I'd like to see us be more sound in what we're doing, make sure we understand what the strength of the offense is coming in and what we need to take away, which has to happen. And then we've got to find a way to take that away and make them beat us doing something else, or at least make them beat us as we can test something very closely and they just found a way to be better.
Are you looking at a scheme adjustment, or just how you play the secondary?
Well, I think all things need to improve. So, like I said, it's not all on one person. We have to be sound in what we're doing. We have to make sure that our guys understand exactly where we need them to be and how to play it. We've got to make sure that when we're playing press coverage, we're not allowing receivers to run free and untouched the entire time they run the route. I mean, we have to disrupt it. We have to disrupt the timing. We have to, in our zone coverage, be where we're supposed to be and be in those zones and areas. And there were just way too many open guys running around the field all day long, in my opinion.
And how much does the safeties play a role in this as well?
Well, they play a role. I mean, I think that linebackers play a role. To a certain degree, the D-line does, but we have to shore up our pass defense, and that's been an issue for a while. We need to. It needs to start this week, and it's going to be a tough week to start it against a very good football team that has had a lot of success, and they're playing as well as I've seen them play since I've been in the league. So, this will be a great challenge for us, and we'll see where we're at.
Is Lorenzo just not ready, or did he experience a setback?
He's just going to be out this week. Is all I'm at liberty to say.
What about Penn State's offense? And obviously they put up a big score on Maryland on Friday, but what stands out about where they're at offensively with the quarterback and then the receiver, KJ Hamler?
Well, they're a very efficient football team right now. I think it starts with their defense. When you shut teams out, when you have some of the personnel they have, when you look across the board at where they're at, and when you watch them on video, man, they play hard, they go hard, they attack, they do a lot of things on defense. They're very aggressive. They get penetration. The linebackers can run and hit and tackle, and the secondary does an outstanding job. I think that's their strength. And on offense, they do have a couple good young receivers. The quarterback's playing efficient. The line's doing a very good job. They're taking care of the football. They move the chains and get it to their playmakers, and they've just kind of executed. So I think a combination of all those things have helped them play at a very high level at this point.
Jack Plummer told us the other day that he basically had the playbook down during his first semester here. He felt like he learned it. I don't know if you completely agree with that or not, but just what about his mental makeup allows him to absorb that kind of knowledge, and then is it just transforming that knowledge to gain experience now?
Well, that is Jack's strength. He's very intelligent, and yes, he picks things up very quickly, and he has a great grasp of what we're doing. He has very good knowledge. The things he just has to work on is just getting some experience out there on the playing field. I think driving the football and throwing with conviction a little bit more can help him. But with Jack and really our quarterback position, we've got to get better around him. Fortunately for us, he was able to make a few plays with his feet when he needed to, and that gave us a spark. He competed and played hard to the end, and that was great to see. But we've got to get better up front. We've got to get better running the ball. We've got to get better at being more physical. We've got to get better at knocking people back in everything we do. Even if it's receivers and tight ends and guys that are in press coverage and they're guarding us, we have to knock those guys back as well. So a lot of things have to continue to improve. But I think Jack is going to work hard, give us everything he's got, and hopefully do his part, which I know he's going to compete very hard, but we've got to get better around him.
What kind of step was Saturday for David Bell?
I thought David was outstanding. It was great to see him. He's been coming back for some injury as well. Played hard, he played tough, he made plays, and that's kind of what we saw early on. And then he kind of was out for camp for a very extended period of time. He's got some great playmaking skills. He will be tested this week against a very good team, and there won't be a whole lot of time to throw the football. So it will challenge us on offense. But as far as his future, I think he can be outstanding. And once again, he'll look better if we can get better around him.
Jackson Anthrop probably steps into Rondell's role this week. Is that correct? I mean, just to have a guy with that experience to plug in there. I mean, how can that help your offense?
Jackson's a great leader. He plays hard. He wants to win. As you guys know, last last year. He didn't get as much action as he would like. Very unselfish. Exemplifies what it means to be a Boilermaker and a team player. And now he's going to be playing more. And I think last game he played quite a bit. Probably got more tired than he was used to, but he had some production. I think he goes hard. TJ Sheffield will be in the mix now as well, so that we can spell him a little bit and not wear him out. But a lot of guys are going to have to step up, and that's what football is all about. That's why they came here. I think that we'll work hard this week, and we need to improve as the week goes on and take the field with some confidence that we can go out there and execute and play good football.
I was going to follow up and ask Sheffield's role now, but also in the return game, where does Sheffield, or where does the return game stand right now without Rondell?
Well, both Jackson and TJ will be in the return game, maybe even Xander on kickoffs. Obviously, we don't have the dynamic playmaker as Rondell back there, but we need to be steady in what we do. We need to be smart. We need to get yardage. We need to be able to get it past the 25, and if it's a high kick that's inside the 5, sometimes those need to be fair caught. Because we haven't gotten past the 25, and it's important that we're smart, but yet still productive. I know we've worked hard at it. Some of it we've seen, some of it we haven't. Some of it penalties have hurt us. But now without Rondell, we have to just continue to work it and get TJ and Jackson better at what we're doing.
Right.
What drew you to Jack so strongly in recruiting when you first saw him? Was it more than just the size and arm? Was there an it factor there too, you kind of saw?
Well, we were fortunate with Jack, former player that I coached and my brother Brown played with, was the defense coordinator at school. I think their team was 1-11 his junior year, so it wasn't getting a whole lot of attention. They sent us the video, we liked what we saw. The great thing that you saw on video is for a guy that looks like a drop back passer, he made a lot of plays on his feet. His team wasn't very good around him. He scrambled and made plays, kind of a little bit like you saw in the last game a couple times. So the fact that he had some playmaking skills and was playing on a team that maybe wasn't as good as the others, I thought was a plus. You look at in the NFL now, you look at a guy like Dwayne Haskins, who's got a bright future, but he was on a great college team that was probably better than a lot of the others, and now he's on a team that's comparable to the others. You look at Daniel Jones, who was on a team like Duke that maybe wasn't quite tremendous, but he played a lot of competitive football, and now you see him flourishing from the get-go. So the fact that he was able to play and get better, and in his senior year his team got better and experience somewhat hard times and find ways to make plays and continue to compete and get better was a plus. So I think that you factor in he's a competitor, he's very intelligent, he wants to be a great player. We're excited to hopefully see him progress and continue to play well.
With the way he moves, can you tweak your offense to him a little bit, or do you want to? I'd imagine also you want to keep him out of harm's way.
Well,
as
both those things should happen. You've got to have the threat of the run, and yes, with him, you can have that now. At the same time, you've got to be smart with it and make sure that he's getting healthy to the next game. And those things are a delicate balance, but you do have to do both.
Coach, back here, all that being said about Jack, how do you prepare a quarterback that hasn't had seasons worth of experience like Elijah for an environment like this at Penn State, where you're going to be playing in front of 100,000 plus people?
Well, I think Jack just has to play within himself and do what he does. And I think when you play against really good opponents and your team needs to continue to work to get better, you got to make sure you're not trying to do too much. And that's what can happen with quarterbacks if things maybe don't go exactly the way we want, as they try to do too much, and he can't do that. We've got to make sure that he's uses this as a great learning experience, and that he plays within himself. He continues to make plays when it's there. He continues to pull it down and run when it's not. He doesn't throw it to the other team. He doesn't turn it over. And we reserve the right to punt if for some reason we get stopped. And I think this is a great test, and this is why you play the game. You play great football teams, and I know he'll be excited to compete.
That being said, where do you go with the playbook now that Elijah's probably going to be out for the foreseeable future? Do you limit some things? Do you adjust some things for Jack? How do you go about that?
Well, there's always tweaking going on. There's always adjustments being made. So I think that make some plays. So, you know, we want to still be on the tack, but it is important to have some balance, and it is important to try to establish the run if we can. The last game we were able to do some things. We put in a couple new runs that probably were our best runs. We need to be able to call some base ones and get some yards and knock people back. So it's still going to be a work in progress. We've got to work hard this week at coming off the football and striking and being aggressive and being tough and understanding that you know, the game is won between the trenches, and that's on both sides of the line. So that's just going to continue to take place in practice, and we've got to show it on Saturdays.
Yeah. I see you put Cam Craig on the depth chart. Is he pushing the play, or is that simply you lost some people from the depth chart, so somebody has to move up?
It's a combination of both. I know Cam Craig's done a very good job for us. We think he has a very bright future. He's a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's not easy to play as a lineman, as a true freshman, unless you're very far along. But he's done a very good job. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the mix this week, if we think he's ready. But he's made great strides. Of the true freshman to this point, he's the farthest along. And we do like some of the other true freshmen as well, but he definitely has a chance to play.
Yeah, coaches do go through all kinds of things throughout their careers, and what some of your challenges from an injury standpoint, what do you draw on? I mean, have you had an experience quite like this in whether being a player or assistant, and what helps you get the juice to move it forward?
Well, you got to play with the cards you're dealt with, and that happens every year. And you know, we definitely want to do that, and there's no excuses whatsoever. There's no complaints. It's our job to develop our players and get them ready to play, and that's everybody on the team. And when guys go down, the others have to be ready to play. So, yes, it creates some challenges, but you know what? I expect our guys to compete and work hard and get better, and I expect us to play better. I expect us to take the field, and the guys that are out there want to get it done, show that they have toughness, show that you know, they're maybe more ready than people think, and go out there and compete. Now, you know, it doesn't always happen perfectly, but you got to adjust, and you've got to hang in there. You can't give in, and that's the one thing that you know, we tell our football team, or I do, is that you know, you have to really hate losing. And it has to bother you, and it has to really burn you inside to want to work to get it fixed. And sometimes it doesn't get fixed right away, but if you stick to it, and if you work hard, and if you do the best you can, hopefully good things happen. And I think that you know, we want to take the field this week with a great attitude in practice, work hard, have fun competing, but push ourselves to get better. And whoever plays, we expect them to go out there and play the way they would want to, and we hope that they play well.
Thanks, everybody.